2, make you wanna.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the 5th year of Around the Crown 10K together with Truist. I am Brian Mister, the race director and founder of this fun little race we get to do on the Highway I-277 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am going to read along with the runner's instructions this year just because we like to give you a couple options on how to take all this information in. We know there's a lot in that runner's instructions email, so we're making a little video for you. For those that like to watch and listen in, we're going to go through a few things right now and get excited for race weekend. So here we go. I'm going to just kind of scroll through over here. We've got a few props over here to go through. We'll have some fun with it. But yeah, like I said, this is the 5th year. We started this back in 2019, so we're pretty excited to get this thing rolling for half a decade now of getting a few thousand runners out on a highway that typically has cars on it. So first off, we're going to talk about Expo and Packet Pickup. Once again, it's over at Camp North End, just outside of Uptown, maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles from the start line. This year there is a parking deck there, which we're pretty excited about, so we've got even more parking this year. We will have our pre-race shakeout with Mad Miles once again. We're going to be doing that from the boiler yard right over there underneath the water tower at 10 a.m. That'll kick everything off. And then from there, that'll last until 11ish or so, or however long you feel like dancing and doing yoga with Mad Miles. 11 o'clock, we'll open up the doors, kick them open, and you'll be able to get your packet. That'll be the first thing you do right after you grab that Truist bag when you walk in. That packet will include your bib. You'll have your safety pins in there and a couple other goodies from some of our vendors. From there, you'll kind of weave your way through the expo like we've always done it, like a snake. You'll have other races in there. You'll have gyms in there. You'll have a couple nonprofits in there to keep your whole family active throughout the year. And then once you kind of are making your turn, you'll see Truist. They will have all kinds of decorations and creation station for signs for their cheer station they have out on the course, right around like mile 4.5 on Sunday. So stop in, see them. Right next to them is Williams Subaru. They're going to be bringing out some pretty cool stuff this year with one of those rooftop tents on the new electric vehicle, the Solterra from Subaru. After you swing by them, you got a couple other vendors to see. Then you'll be grabbing your 2023 shirt. We've got it here for Thanks to Recover, designed this year by Marina Nolan, our creative director, aka my wife, and her have been working on this pretty hard all year. So excited to debut this. She's on the medal. She did the work on the medal. She did the work on the bib that you've just received, or you'll be receiving. You'll grab that, then you'll grab your socks from Features. They'll be right next to it. And then you kind of work your way through the gift shop, which includes beer from Noda Brewing, coffee from Summit, some samples from Guayake Yerba Mate. You'll also then be entering into where Recover is at, selling some merchandise. We've got Brooks out there with Charlotte Running Company. We've got a lot of merch this year, including this hat here. We just got this in. We've got one more hat. Another hat. Gosh, we've got 2 more hats, 3 more hats. So 4 hats total this year. I love hats. We've got shirts, tanks, shorts, jackets, all from Brooks, all branded Around the Crown this year. We stepped it up a bit, and we're excited for it. And then you'll exit by, if you're buying anything, obviously there's the point of sale right there for you to check out, and you'll exit to your right. There's a little bit of an arcade there that we're leaving in there again this year, thanks to some vendors at Camp North End. And then you'll be exiting out kind of into the party, which is where we'll have bands going all day. Everyone from Relay is coming in from Raleigh this year. They work with Brooks as well. We've got a couple more lined up, so we're pretty excited about that. So that expo, again, is on Saturday, September 2nd, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Camp North End, where there's free parking. So don't worry about that unless you're there for more than, I think it's like 2 hours. So you'll be entering into the forward building. That is where we will have our entire expo at. So to go through a few more things that we have going on at the expo. Like I said, we have those bands. At 4 o'clock, we have the kids race. We've got about 250 kids signed up this year, so we're pretty excited to see that thing grow. We'll have 2 waves of runners, so we'll have kids under 5 and then kids 5 years and older going out. So we'll have the speedsters go out first, the 5 and olders, and then the younger ones go out second. It's only a 0.277 mile course, so it's not like there's going to be a big delay in the runners. We just don't want to get kids tripped up while they're out there sprinting as fast as they can for a quarter mile. And then after that, so that'll last until probably 4:15 or so. They'll be ending inside of the expo, right behind the merchandise area. We'll have food and drinks in there from them, thanks to Harris Teeter and Pepsi. And then at 4:30, you're going to stroll on over to what I consider like the front side of Camp North End there on North Graham Street, up by the other food stalls. You'll be going into U-Verse Yourself. It's a gym, a training gym up there, or YVY. Where we'll be having our panel discussion in there on just the inclusivity in running and what we can do to get better, what we've learned. We've got some amazing panelists this year. We're pretty excited about who's coming out to kick it off. We've got Ryan Montgomery, one of the top elite ultra runners in the country, who's also sponsored by Summit. And we've got Anna Robles. She is on a few boards for nonprofits within the Latino community here in Charlotte. And then last, we've got the team from the Ability Experience, who is helping push a lot of athletes with physical disabilities this year in our race. So they will all three be out. Our moderator is Cornell Jones from Mad Miles, who has so much energy and is just going to light that room up and really make it a discussion for all. So we're pretty excited about that. That'll be at 4:30. And then the last kind of like big, really cool thing you need to know about at the expo is these little wooden tokens. They're about this size. They say Truist on them. You'll grab those at the Truist booth. Those tokens are worth $5 to any food vendor within Camp North End on that day and on that day only. That includes Viva Chicken's food truck. They'll be out there. That includes ice cream from Everly Ellis. That includes any of those food stalls up by U-Verse Yourself as well. Viva Chicken will have a $5 food menu that'll get us helped out and make it a little bit easier for you to choose. But that's about it with the expo. It's going to end right around 6 p.m. That's about what time the bands will start closing down, and we're going to start letting those vendors get out of there so they can get ready for the race the next morning. A lot of them are racing with us as well. So 6 o'clock. Close it down. You go home, get one last sleep before you shut down a highway with us. And then Sunday, September 3rd, we're gonna start this party. We start working out there at about 3 a.m. to shut down the highway and get Mint Street ready for you and all kinds of fun. But know that you don't need to be out there till probably like 6:30 or 7 or so. You want to get there a little bit early. The race does start at 7:30. But make sure you get there early, use the restroom, get parked, feel comfortable about everything, know where you're going. We will have the strollers go off early once again at 7:25. So you are one of those 200 plus stroller pushers this year. Make sure you're at the front, and you'll be getting in and heading out right there at 7:25. And the biggest thing to know this year on race day is we do have Corrals this year. So your bib will have a letter on the front of it, A, B, C, D, or if you're super speedy, it'll say ELT, as in elite. Our pacers are helping us out this year to get those, get you in your correct corral. Once we say go, everyone will be going at the exact same time. We just want to help people kind of corral in. These corrals are based on your pace that you gave us during registration. So we've got the party in the back and we've got the speedsters in the front. We'll be kind of dropping those ropes once we say go. There will not be a time increment in between anyone. Again, it's just to help you get organized. We've got a lot more fencing out there this year to help stay organized and to help kind of keep you in line when you're getting back to grab all your food and water, which we'll get to in a second. But again, strollers at 7:25, elites and everyone else is going at 7:30. We have until 7:45 to get everyone through, so know that you're running late, which we know you won't be. You have until 7:45, and then the police shut down that start line to make sure everyone safely gets on the highway and then also safely exits I-277. So now to go over the course a little bit, I'm going to take one step back. One thing I missed, again, just kind of looking at your runner's instructions over here, parking. So again, we're working with the deck that's right there by the Honeywell building across from the Panther Stadium. That deck, there is parking that you can prepay for, meaning you just kind of scan a QR code when you roll up, roll in, roll out when you're done, and it's super easy. There's also street parking along the city. Just know that this year it is not free during the weekends anymore. And then I think the best and most sustainable option you have is taking the light rail in, taking the gold rail, taking carpool, bus, or bike. Honestly, it's a good little pre-warm-up. Just come in super slow, walk in from a little bit further away where maybe you can get free parking at just outside of Uptown, and then come on in. So yeah, parking again, a lot of options for you. Just again, make sure you're planning a little bit early to get that rolling. So now we're gonna go through the course. So you start right there at the corner of Martin Luther King Jr. and Mint Street, right there in front of Truist Field and Romeo Bearden Park. Pretty amazing venue for a start line. There are a ton of restrooms. We have 200 restrooms inside of Truist Field. That's also where our awards will be afterwards. So again, that's where you'll kind of kick off at. You'll be heading out towards the Carolina Panthers or Charlotte FC Stadium. And we, again, are going to have the Weddington High School band out there pumping you up as you're going around that first turn. You'll go under I-277, go into what we call kind of the Gold District, and then loop back towards I-277. Right before you get on, you're going to be hitting about mile 1, depending on how much your GPS has messed up within the buildings of Uptown. Know that, again, we are officially marking this and measuring this with start to finish. We do now have an official 10K, which we're pretty excited about, that it has been measured and marked. So again, once you're about to get on the highway, you're going to be hitting about mile 1. We have moved the water stop as close as we can to the highway this year. So in years past, we've kind of heard it's been underutilized just because it seems a little early in the course, which it is, but we can't put a water stop on the highway, just state and city regulations. So if you're feeling even the slightest bit thirsty, go ahead and grab one of those hiccups over there. Again, it's this neoprene cup that is completely sustainable and reusable for the next race. Grab one of those, take a sip, and then head on the highway. If you do think you'll need more water, be sure to bring your own bottle. We will have Charlotte Water out with their water wagon where you can fill up there before the race and after the race. So that'll be your first water stop. You then head out on the highway. This year we've got 6 banners hanging from the overpasses. The first 4 are compliments of Truist. They've got some really cool inspirational messages out there. You may remember them from last year. We had 1 out there last year. This year they went wild with it and gave us 3 more. So you'll see that as you go along kind of the south side of I-277. It's a little bit downhill, but don't let that trick you. You're then going to make that turn and start heading back north and heading towards what we now know as the Queen's Climb, which is that about half-mile ascent, if you want to call that in a nice way, up to the top of I-277 and the highest point on our course. That'll take you right past 2 more banners on the overpasses there at Davidson, and those are going to be compliments of Brooks. Brooks Running has got some inspirational messages out there just to kind of take your mind off of this pretty steep hill that you'll be hitting there with the Queen's Climb. And then as soon as you get off the highway, right around mile 4, you will, or just after mile 4, you'll be hitting another water stop there. So again, please take advantage of this. Weather is looking pretty good for us. We're looking at low 70s, dew points in the low 60s now. All this rain that's coming this week will be passed by then, and we'll be cooling things off. So we're pretty excited for that. So getting off the highway, mile 4, you're hitting that water stop right there on Church Street. Your next turn is going to be a right on 6th Street. Right there at that corner on the backside of Discovery Place is where Truist is setting up their cheer station at. So they're going to have all kinds of fun out there, a lot of noise, a lot of just energy to get you pumped up. If you are a family member, if you want to send this to a family member, have them go to that cheer station. They're going to have free bowls of acai from Rico's, free coffee from Summit, all kinds of opportunities. So you'll make that turn onto 6th. You're kind of on the home stretch now. You've got a little bit of a downhill here until you get back there by Johnson and Wales. And then you'll be kind of doing a U-turn back in on 4th Street and Irwin Avenue back there before you get to Graham. And you can kind of start to hear the energy again because you're going to be on the back side of Truist Field. You're going to do one little loop again, go back over by the Weddington High School band. They're going to hit you one more time and help you sprint into the finish line. Cross that finish line. Maybe remember to hit stop on your watch, get your photo at the finish line. We'll have tons of photographers out there again. Make sure your bib is present on the front of your shirt because that's how we tag you in these photos and how you'll get that email saying, hey, look at this photo, you crossed the finish line and you're amazing. So when you cross the finish line this year, we have it spread out quite a bit more. One, because this is our largest year yet. We have now crossed the 5,000 mark and we're probably going to be close to about 5,800, maybe 6,000 runners this year. And that's between the virtual runners, the kids runners. This year we were able to up it to 200 runners for our pay what you can entry thanks to Truist, helping everyone get in no matter their financial circumstances. So again, about 6,000 runners out there this year. So thanks so much for making this our largest year yet at year 5. But when you cross that finish line, like I said, you're going to be spread out a little bit more. We're going to have, your medals first. You're going to get your water, tons of food this year and water. So your water options are, we have canned Aquafina, thanks to Pepsi. They're also bringing out Celsius. We're going to have Noda Brewing bringing out their Hop 2.0, that kind of hop flavored water, seltzer. And then you have the Water Wagon as well out there from Charlotte Water. So a lot of options for water this year. If you bring your own bottle, you can fill that up. If you didn't, you can grab some of ours that are super sustainable. Make sure you are recycling these aluminum cans. Once you get done, we will have recycling out there. And then next up is food. Harris Teeter, again, is hooking us up this year. So not only do we have the regulars in play, bananas and oranges, this year we've also got apples and plums. And then we also got about 5,000 donuts this year too, thanks to Harris Teeter. Really excited about that. Should be a good time and kind of turn your sweat into sweetness a little bit. So it should be a good time. So then when you're done, coolest part of the race, I think this year, there's going to be 1,500 feet of fencing throughout the whole time that's going to lead you into center field there in Truist Park, or Truist Field. You'll go right by the dragon there on that back part, kind of where the kids section is if you've been to a Knights game before, and you'll get to walk down and onto the warning track of Truist Field. So we're pretty excited about that. You'll get to do that, and then when you get over to home plate, Truist has set up a 360 photo booth. You'll get to check that out. And take your photo, and then head back into the main concourse. We'll have Carolina Sports Clinic in there doing some stretching to get you helped out. We'll have a couple other vendors there in the main concourse. We'll be putting awards up on the main video boards, and then we'll have the awards ceremony at 8:30. All right, y'all, there's just a couple more things to go over on race day. One thing to know is we do have our pacers out there once again, thanks to Run CLT Run and Charlotte Running Club. So we've almost doubled our number of pacers this year. We're kind of creating a hug this year with the pace groups. So you'll have someone in the front, someone in the middle, and then someone at the end of each pace group. No matter where you're at in the corral, you'll be able to see one of them, and they'll get you helped out. The pacers will also be the ones kind of helping you get into your corral in the early morning hours, so you'll get to know them. They are amazing. They are your biggest cheerleaders. They will help you get to that finish line with a smile on your face, hitting your PR, whatever that may look like for you. They're there for you. So big thing to know there. And then other thing to know, just as a reminder, we do have a pace maximum of 13:45 minute per mile pace. Just because of needing to reopen the highway for the city and the state. So if you do happen to slow down from that, know that we do have a bus out there if necessary to jump on. Just to let you know, in years past, I think we've had maybe 3 people get on that bus, and a lot of it was due to maybe they twisted an ankle or something like that. So not a huge concern there. Just know that it's out there for mainly safety concerns, but then also just needed to have that out there for city and state regulations again. So that's the course. It's going to be an awesome one. You get to finish on the field, take that photo, all kinds of fun. And then afterwards, like I mentioned before, we'll have our awards on the main concourse there of the Truist Field. This year we've got some pretty cool awards we're handing out for age group and overall, made by a local artist or kind of crafted by a local artist with the wooden pin. So we'll be handing those out to age group winners. We have everything from under 19 all the way to 80 and over. And that, again, is in male, female, and non-binary. We have elite awards going out for top 5. We have wheelchair awards. We have top Charlottean awards. We've got a lot. So just so you know, when it comes to the awards portion of the day, we only are doing those top 5. Age group awards will be posted up on the outfield screen. We'll have these awards waiting for you. You'll come over and grab those from the around the crown table. You'll see that tablecloth out there. Last couple things here. Volunteers. We have had a great year for volunteerism. Super happy to have Viva Chicken on board helping us out with that. They have kind of headlined our sponsorship within the volunteers. It's the Viva Chicken Volunteers this year. You'll see everyone rocking like an orange shirt this year. It says "Here to Help," thanks to Viva Chicken. All volunteers are getting meals at their spot this year. They're also getting Summit Coffee, early registration, and cheapest registration for the 2024 at $27.70. And then also they're getting that shirt from Recover again. So that'll be pretty cool. Biggest thank you here out to our sponsors. We've got a lot of them. Main one obviously being Truist, and then we've also got Williams Subaru, who will be leading the day with our ATC 10K Outback again. Noda Brewing's getting that beverage for you afterwards. Again, don't miss that after party at 10 a.m. at their North End location, just down North Tryon Street, maybe a couple miles down. If you opted to get your beer at the post-race party, that's where you'll go. Show them your bib, they'll get you that beer. If you opted to get it at the Expo, it'll be done at the Expo. Show them your bib, they'll cross it off, and you'll get your free jogger lager for those of you that are 21 and above. We also have features, again, coming back. You get the socks at the Expo. And then we've got a lot of other amazing sponsors to thank, and just we couldn't do this race. We couldn't shut down a highway without them. There's a lot of financial pieces to that, and just overall like joy that they bring us and help their running community. Know that when you see them out at the Expo, they truly care about the mission of the Charlotte running community, the mission of sustainability and inclusivity. These are partners that we have worked with for years, and we're excited to continue working with them. So be sure to give them a high five. Thank them when you see them at the Expo. They're just one of a kind, amazing. Most of them are local to Charlotte businesses. And then last thing I say before I'll sign off here, registration is still open. You can get your friends in. We will have that open all the way until we say go on Sunday morning. So feel free to send this on to your friends, get them registered, get them to run on the highway with you this year, even if they're going to the college kickoff game the night before. It'll be a fun time for sure. But again, Brian Mister, the race director of Around the Crown 10K, together with Truist. So super thankful for y'all to come out again, get this medal this year, come get some swag at the Expo, all the fun. So let us know if you have any questions. I'd say the easiest way to do that is on Instagram. Either shoot us a direct message on there. Our email will be a little bit harder to get through this week, but know that we'll be kind of catching up as we can as we're setting up the Expo and everything. But let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment on this video on YouTube, and we're going to have a good week. Thanks, y'all.